During a seminar which was attended by several couples of all ages, the speaker asked that I would like to know from a husband whose wife doesn't make him happy. Well, the speaker was quite confident that no husband would dare to stand and say this, as his wife is also present in the auditorium. At this moment, one fellow dared to stand and said, "No sir, my wife doesn't make me happy." Well, everybody was astonished. There was a pin drop silent. Well, there was a pause, and then he started saying, "I choose to be happy in every situation and every moment of my life, for it is my happiness. If my happiness depends on another person, things or circumstances, I would be in serious trouble. Everything that exists in this life constantly changes. Human beings, the riches, my body, the climate, my boss, the pleasures, the friends, and my physical and mental health. I could quote endless lists which keep on changing in my life. I need to decide to be happy, regardless of anything else that happens. Whether I own a lot or a little, I am happy. Whether I am going to be at home or outside, I am happy. Whether I am rich or poor, I am happy. I am married, but I was happy when I was single. And I am happy even after my marriage. I love my life, not because my life is easier than anyone's else, but because I have decided to be happy. I am responsible for my happiness. When I take this obligation from my wife or anybody else, I free them from the burden of carrying me on their shoulders. It makes everyone's life much lighter, and they also feel relieved that they don't have to make me happy. And that's how I have had a successful married life for so many years. So, never give anyone else the responsibility to control your happiness. Be happy even if it is hot, even if you are sick, even if you do not have money, even if someone has hurt you, even if someone does not love you, and even if you do not value yourself. So, that was the message given in that auditorium by that daring husband, and it goes to every human being on this earth. Sometimes in the dark of the night, I visit my conscience to see if it is still breathing, for it's dying a slow death every day. When I pay for a meal in a fancy place, an amount which is perhaps the monthly income of the guard who holds the door open of my car, and quickly I shrug away that thought, my conscience dies a little. When I buy vegetables from the vendor and his son smilingly weighs the potatoes, a small child who should be studying at his school, I look the other way. It dies a little. When I am decked up in a designer dress, a dress that costs a lot, and I see a woman at the crossing in tatters, trying unsuccessfully to save her dignity, and I immediately roll up the windows of my car, my conscience dies a little. When I buy expensive gifts for my children, and on return, I see half-clad children with empty stomach and hungry eyes selling toys at the red light. I try to salve my conscience by buying something from them, but still it dies a little. When I am sick, my maid sends her daughter to work, making her bunk from school. I know I should tell her to go back, but I look at the loaded sink and dirty dishes and I tell myself that it is just for a couple of days, and then my consciousness dies a little. When I hear about a rape or murder of a child, I feel sad, yet a little thankful that it's not my child. I cannot look at myself in the mirror, and again it dies a little. When people fight over caste, creed and religion, I feel hurt and helpless. I tell myself that my country is going to the dogs. I blame the corrupt politicians and absolving myself of all the responsibilities. It dies a little. When my city is choked, breathing is dangerous in the smog-ridden metropole. I take my car to work daily, not taking the metro, not trying to pool the car. And then I think, what a one car can make a difference? It dies a little. So when in the dark of the night I visit my conscience and find it is still breathing, I am surprised. I am surprised.
फ्रेंड्स, अगर वीडियो पसंद आया हो तो लाइक और सब्सक्राइब करें।